We are going on air. Tunaanza kila mtu kae standby. Go. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban mtazamaji, imesalia tu siku mbili mwezi na mwaka wa 2022 kuaga. Na bila shaka siku ya leo tuko hapa ili kuweza kufanya mjadala. Kumbuka mtazamaji, tarehe 5 mwezi Januari, wakazi kutoka sehemu hii ya Garissa, haswa Garissa mjini, watakuwa ni wenye kuelekea debeni kufanya uchaguzi ambao bila shaka watachagua nani atakayekuwa mbunge wa Garissa mjini, baada ya aliyekuwa mbunge wa sehemu hii Aden Duale kuteuliwa kama waziri wa ulinzi wa nchi na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza. Niko naye hapa mwenzangu Ayub, atakuwa akiendesha mjadala huu kwa lugha ya Kimombo. Ayub.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome the honorable members, the candidates who are seeking the mandate of the people of Garissa Township. I am Ayub Abdikadir Abdi. I work with Royal Media Services and, to be specific, Citizen Television, a news presenter. And the ground rules for the Garissa Township debate, they are as follows, and we expect maximum cooperation from the candidates who are here tonight. The Garissa Township debate is structured to encourage substantive discussion on the important issues that affect the honorable people of Garissa Township constituency. As your hosts, Hamza Yusuf and I will make sure the rules and the format of the debate are fair and are applied therein accordingly. We expect all the participants taking part to strictly adhere to the established rules, norms, and regulations without exceptions. Here are the rules. The questions of this debate are our own, and we have not shared with any of the candidates or persons that are aligned to their campaigns. In line with global standards, no placards, posters, stickers, or other such campaign materials may be displayed by the candidates or their supporters in the auditorium hall. The candidates may not have to access any persons during the course of this debate other than the moderators here, and in case of an emergency, a member of the production team will be taking care of that. The moderators will determine which questions are asked, to whom, and when during the debate. Each of the candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to a question and 30 seconds for a rebuttal that will be strictly adhered to by the moderators of this debate. Time limit on statement, answers, and rebuttals are responsible and will be enforced by the moderators during the debate. The moderator may interrupt any candidate if the moderator believes the candidate is straying away from the subject matter and the rules that have been laid. The candidates may not interrupt one another. It is the moderator's responsibility and discretion, not the candidates, to enforce the rule. Candidates and the moderators will remain in their designated position for the duration of this debate. One final aspect, the format of this debate, honorable members. The debate will last after 120 minutes, from open to close, including all the introduction and conclusions. The debate will be subdivided into substantive subject areas that fall under the mandate of a member of the National Assembly, who will serve as the next MP to represent the honorable people of Garissa Township. The thematic areas of discussion, the length and the order will be determined exclusively by the moderators of this debate. One final line. The opening and closing statements are limited to 60 seconds and offer each candidate an opportunity to speak about themselves, not about others. I therefore welcome you to this debate.
Asante sana, bila shaka hilo ni baadhi tu za sheria ambazo zitatumika katika sehemu hii. Mtazamaji, baadhi ya wagombea ama wale ambao wanatafuta nafasi katika sehemu hii ni pamoja na Faisal Amin wa muungano wa Azimio, Honorable Abdi Karim Osman ama Honorable Faisal Samahani, Honorable Abdi Karim wa Democratic Party, Honorable Deko Maalim wa chama cha UDA, Honorable Ibrahim Malo wa Kenya na Honorable Nasir Joffrey. Kulikuwa hapo awali wakati ambapo tulikuwa tunafanya hafla hii mwanzo kulikuwa na Tom Mogere ambaye tuliarifiwa baadaye hakuweza kuidhinishwa na tume ya uchaguzi nchini, na bila shaka Muhyiddin Abdirashid ambaye tuliarifiwa hapo jana kufikia hapo jana jioni alijitoa kwenye kinyang'anyiro. Mtazamaji, tuliwaleta sehemu hii waungwana hawa ili tuweze kuwapiga msasa, kuweza kujua wale ambao watachaguliwa ni akina nani. Je, sera yao ni ipi? Na kumbuka wengi walikuwa wana maoni tofauti katika kaunti ya Garissa. Tutakuwa ni wenye kusikiza baadhi ya maoni ambapo tumeweza kuuliza watu tofauti katika sehemu hii ya Garissa. Lakini madhumuni kubwa ya mjadala huu wa leo ni kwamba nani ataweza kurithi kiti cha Aden Duale. Tutaweza kuwapatia nafasi wale ambao wananchi wako katika sehemu hii ili kuweza pia kuuliza maswali mawili au matatu.
And beginning with the first question to the candidate for the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Political Party, Faisal Amin. What motivates you? Why do you want to be the next Member of Parliament representing Garissa Township constituency?
Thank you, Ayub, for giving me this opportunity. And I have to say, Assalamu alaikum to the great people of Garissa, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am prompted to run for this seat because I found there is a need for our community and Garissa town as a Garissa constituency as a whole. We have got a lot of things that are done and a lot of problems and challenges that our people face that need the right representation of their voice and their needs. If I may tell you on that is that we have been complaining from so many issues that is affecting our community for the last 60 years of independence. And I'm sure a lot has been done by leaders that were ahead of us. But again, what is left, we must get visionary leaders that can do something about the current pressing issues and also look into the future, how we can compete with the world in other developments that we need in the 21st century. We have a huge number of our youth who are unemployed and other issues that along the way I think we're going to discuss. We have water shortages for this long time again because of Tana River is passing by here. So those such as a few examples that I'm taking because you asked me what prompted me to run for this seat. I think I'm the right person to address many issues for the people of Garissa and bring development that were not there before and enhance which were already being established by our predecessors.
Your
Thank
time
you.
is up, Honorable Member. Thank you. Yes, Hamza.
Mheshimiwa Abdi Karim Osman, tueleze na waheshimiwa hapa mnaweza tumia lugha ya Kiswahili au Kiingereza. Kwa nini unatafuta kiti cha ubunge cha Garissa? Mheshimiwa Abdi Karim.
Asante sana Hamza, naitwa Mheshimiwa Abdi Karim. Ya kwanza, mimi ni kijana wa Garissa, lakini nilikuwa mheshimiwa kwa Fafi na nimeserve miaka 5 Fafi constituency, na nimefanya kazi mingi sana kule Fafi. Fafi is one of the third largest constituency in the country. So kama nimefanya kazi nzuri kule ambaye ni kubwa sana, nimeona hapa ni rahisi kufanya kazi na kusaidia watu wangu wa Garissa. Mimi nimezaliwa hapa Garissa, nimelelewa hapa Garissa. Na Hamza, vile unajua, mimi nilipatiwa award na Gala Award, the best member of parliament Garissa County mara kwanza 2021. 2022 pia nilipatiwa the best member of parliament Garissa, no, the best member of parliament Northeastern. Tena nilipatiwa number 1 fame kwa mtu wa amani Kenya nzima. Na nimeserve bunge wa 12. Nilikuwa kwa kamati tofauti. For example, energy committee ama umeme. Nilikuwa house business. Nilikuwa vice chairman agriculture committee. Kule Fafi nimefanya kazi mingi sana upande wa maji, upande wa stima, upande wa bazari. Nilikuwa pia namba 27 out of 290 constituencies ambaye alifanya kazi nzuri sana kusaidia wanafunzi huko Fafi.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. Your time is up, and we are strictly adhering to the 2-minute deadline that we have issued. Major Deko Malim, why do you want to become the next MP representing Garissa Township?
Bismillah. Thank you very much. I find leadership as a calling. It's a contribution, all of us, not only myself as an individual who should be making to the society we live in or where we are born. It's a way of giving back to society. The leadership you provide is a way of giving back to society on what you have achieved as a person, both in terms of knowledge and so it is for me a desire to offer myself to the people of Garissa so that I contribute to the improvement of their livelihood, to the improvement of society and community, to the improvement of our cities and towns within the constituency. So for me, it's more than just an employment, it's a calling that I want to fulfill, inshallah.
Okay, and that is despite the observance of the time. Yes, Hamza, go ahead, please.
Mheshimiwa Ibrahim Malo, tueleze labda kwa dakika 2 kwa nini unatafuta kiti cha ubunge cha Garissa mjini, Kiswahili au Kiingereza?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. My name is Ibrahim Malo, as has been said before. The reason why I have shown interest in this township constituency is that I see myself as a bridge between the haves and the have-not. I have been in Garissa while I was looking for fees, while I was studying in school, while I was unemployed. And I have also been in Garissa while I had holding a public office. What I've realized is there's a wide gap between the people of Garissa, majority of them who are less fortunate in our society, the mothers, very many unemployed youth, and the leadership in Garissa had been recycled for so long. For me, I see it is a break. So I want to be the bridge that connects the majority who are less fortunate to the opportunities that are available in the modern Kenya and in Garissa specifically. If you look around, there are many challenges, be it school fees, be it water, be it security, be it land, be it tension on security matters. There are a lot of challenges. On the other side, few had been enjoying resources of government, what is called the state capture that have prevailed upon. So we need to break the cycle. I believe I am the right candidate who will steer Garissa to where it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for observing the time. And let's now, gentlemen, because there's no lady, get to the very substantive elements. And the law does establish the legislature where, if accorded the mandate by the people of Garissa Township constituency, you're going to be sitting amongst the other 289 MPs who are elected across the 290 constituencies. May I begin with you, Honorable Abdikarim Osman? When it comes to representation, when it comes to legislation, when it comes to oversight, how would you do it better? Because that's what the people of Garissa Township constituency need.
Thank you, Ayub. I think among the rest of the candidates here, I served in the parliament already. So I have a better opportunity. And I'm not new to the house. So I will serve very well, of which I did before in Fafi. Remember when I was talking about my history in parliament, what I did in being in different committees in the parliament. I served Fafi very well, and you can go back to history and ask about Fafi. Fafi was in the national limelight always, and I served my community very well. And I think if I given opportunity in Garissa Township, I will be much better. And due to my experience, I can serve very efficiently and very effectively.
Asante sana kwa jibu hilo. Labda Mheshimiwa Faisal, swala la ardhi katika sehemu hii ya Garissa ni jambo ambalo limefanya watu wengi sana kupoteza maisha. Watu wengi sana katika sehemu hii wamepoteza familia au hata rafiki katika swala la ardhi, hasa sehemu hii ya Modika. Iwapo utafanikiwa kuwa mbunge wa sehemu hii ya Garissa Township, utakabiliana vipi na swala hili? Kiswahili au Kiingereza?
Thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Hamza. That's an important question and a contentious issue that is affecting Garissa people for the longest time. I have spoken many times at the county level, just as a concerned citizen, how we need to get involved in these killings and fight over land. One thing I know that God has given us a massive land with less population to occupy. And for us to kill for a land here, I think it's a curse by itself. But one thing I could tell you is that there's a lack of leadership that made our people to scramble for this land and cause the mayhem that we see every day. We have lost a lot of life, so many were injured, others are in the jail, and it's not something that was supposed to happen if the leaders were honest and sincere about governance and land legislations. And that's why a National Land Commission was formed in order to mitigate land issues. But one thing that I found with the country as a whole, so many entities, government entities that were created to solve problems, are the causes of the problems that happens all the time. So what I could say is that I will involve directly about the land issue. The first thing a citizen is supposed to have is the rightful ownership of his or her land. The local land office and the urban development, they were supposed to get involved and seriously register and issue title on a land, and I would get involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are 2 seconds off the timing. Major Dekomalem, I talked about the component about representation, and it's one big element that the President, William Ruto, recently when he convened a parliamentary group meeting of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance talked about. What will be your approach towards better representation, better legislation and oversight for the people of Garissa Township?
Okay, as you know, the role of UX, as just explained, the role of a member of parliament is representation. One of them is representation, oversight, lobbying for the constituency that you represent at the national government level. So my role here, I will take it very seriously. I'll voice my voice, I'll raise my voice to the interest of those who have elected me. I'll talk for the poor, for the mothers who have elected me, who stood with me, and all those whom I represent as a member of parliament. So for me, my intention here is to lobby for my people. As you know, the national government has more resources than the county government. When the resources were not equally, as you know, 15% comes here, 80% remains with the national government. For me, is to make sure that I do my role as an oversight, I do as a representation, and also lobby for more resources from the national government to trickle down to the constituency, inshallah.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Ibrahim Malo, ulikuwa katibu wa fedha ya kaunti ya Garissa wakati wa serikali ya gavana Ali Korane. Bila shaka tutaweza kuuliza vipi ilitumika pesa wakati wako, lakini kwa sasa utatumia vipi hazina ya CDF? Kwa sababu watu wengi sana wana wasiwasi kwamba atakayekuja atatumia vipi fedha ya CDF. Je, atakuwa akitoa labda kwa haki ama wengi wanashuku kwamba huenda zoezi hilo likaweza kutekelezwa ama kutolewa kwa fedha hiyo ikaweza kutolewa kwa njia isiyo haki. Labda utatumia vipi hazina ya CDF?
Asante, Hamza. True, I have been a chief of staff finance in the county government of Garissa for a period of 2 years. Very importantly, before I come to the main question, is I will connect it to the role of an MP that is representation, oversight, and legislation. On the issue of representation, the national government at the National Assembly is where the government budgets are decided, which sector goes to what. For me, is to give a focus that if it is water, if it is roads, if it is national security, they get enough resources. Then follow up to the ground that what they were meant to do is actually what is happening. And just an example is we have NEMA, the regional office in Garissa. You have gone to where we have our waste management center, what we call just in the ring road. It is an open field where every dirt and everything is just open. How did they utilize the money they were given in terms of environment is the role of an MP. Now, on the issue of CDF, from where we start from, we had a CDF that had a committee that established and existed for 15 years that do not represent and carry the face of Garissa. Garissa is a cosmopolitan. Every community is there. For me, is to have the face of Garissa. The Down Kenyans should be there. The three main communities should be there. And the Somalis that are from anywhere else should also be represented. And make a focus that that is the work of that committee. They should have a plan, do a public participation on what's supposed to be done. And so my role will be non-interference on how that resources has to be done. But at the same time, give them check on what was supposed to be done and where.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Abdi Karim, having served as an MP, the question about CDF and why this was first incepted under the NAC government in 2003, the Kibaki government, which came to power at the height of the sweeping election victory of the NAC coalition, was mainly for development, security, education, and development to some extent. How would you do it? Because there's a concern about the utilization of the funding, especially when it comes to corruption and what the committee undertakes.
Asante sana Ayu. Mimi nilikuwa mheshimiwa Fafi vile amesema. CDF, ukienda upande wa CDF, kuna security part vile umesema, kuna ile bursary part na development part. Kule Fafi, development part ilikuwa inafanywa na wananchi ambao wanaishi Fafi. Lakini lazima watimize sheria ambayo itakana, kama ni kujenga shule, kama ni kujenga police station, lazima wafuate hiyo sheria. Na tukao tunafanya vijana wanapatiwa, kina mama na wazee. So wakishamaliza wanalipwa pesa yao. Inspection kutoka Ministry of Works wanaenda kuangalia wametimiza sheria yao, wanalipwa pesa yao. So nimesaidia vijana wengi sana through CDF development. Ukienda upande bazari, nilipokuja Fafi tumeanza na 25 million shillings, tukaenda 30 million shillings, tukaenda 35, tukaenda 40. So Fafi shule ilikuwa imefungwa yote kwa ajili ya insecurity. So tukafungua shule zote. Fafi ilikuwa number 1 Garissa County, ilikuwa number 1 Northeastern, na wanafunzi kwa vile sina wafugaji tumelipa school fees yao 100%. For example, secondary schools, university na colleges. Lakini Garissa Township walikuwa wanalipa mambo ya secondary peke yake 1500, wanaangalia wengine. Sisi hatukuwa tubagui kabila, tunaenda kwa shule, tuko na database yetu tumejenga tayari, shule watoto wanakaa na tunalipia. Mambo ya security tulikuwa kuna hii high mask ya Safaricom mingi imegongwa, for example Wilmerel, Fafi, Galmagala, Kamuze, hata hapa Korkora ambaye ni Garissa Township mimi nimetengeneza yote nimerudisha.
Okay, I take your note. Before my colleague Hamza comes in, when you talk about the differences in terms of your management of Fafi and Garissa Township, and I presume under the leadership of the current defense CS, Adan Duale, but this is according to reports done by the Auditor General, one of the best managed constituencies in terms of CDF. It was ranked number 5 across the country. I mean, it seems there is a disconnect between your statement and what is...
No, there's no disconnect. I was talking about Fafi, being a member of Parliament Fafi. So I was number 27. So sasa nimekuja Fafi, in fact Duale ameserve maka 15. Mimi nimeserve maka 5 peke yake. Na nimepatiwa Gala Award Garissa County, nimepatiwa Gala Award Northeastern, nikapatiwa fame number 1 in the country. So nikakuwa kiti ambaye alikosa akiwa majority alipotolewa kule. Nilichukua hiyo house business. Nikakuwa vice chairman agriculture.
Okay, just to be part of the rules, Honorable Abdi Karim, we had laid down some rules and someone who has no right of... Okay, just hang on. Someone who has no right of reply ought not to be mentioned here. Just respond to the questions.
No, I'm just telling you about Fafi. I'm not talking about Duale.
Thank you. And time is up for that matter. Yes, Hamza.
Although a project of Duale is here, so I'm not just talking about Duale.
Yeah, it's no right. Let's okay.
Kidogo atungependa kuzungumzia kwa mtu ambaye hayuko hapa na labda Abdi Karim, ulikuwa na nafasi ya kutumia pia na pesa ya World Bank. Tukizungumza pesa ya World Bank ilikuwa pesa nyingi, na labda mmoja anaweza jiuliza ukilinganisha na pesa ya CDF na pesa ya World Bank, gani ilikuwa nyingi kwa maoni yako?
Pesa ya CDF is about 100 million. Pesa ya World Bank it was 1.5 billion shillings.
1.5 billion.
Bado naendelea mpaka December this year.
Na hiyo ni pesa nyingi. Labda ulifanya nini na pesa ya World Bank? Kwa sababu unatafuta kiti cha ubunge, ni muhimu tujue.
Ni mzuri. Pesa ya World Bank unajua iko tofauti na CDF. World Bank tulikuwa na NGO ambayo inaitwa Faida, for example Fafi. Uko Dadaab like Dera kuna NGO inaitwa RRDO. Fafi Faida inatembea kwa wananchi. Hii ni bottom up hii ambayo Ruto amekampeni nayo imetoka kwa hiyo project yenyewe. Unaenda for example Nanigi, ama unaenda Galmagala, ama unaenda Alanjugu. Unauliza wananchi mtaka mfanywe nini? Si mimi na chunga ya pesa. Yangu ni kwa oversight. Na kuchunga ya kwa imetumika vile imetakana. Sasa wananchi wakisema wanataka hospitali hapa, wanataka bohol hapa, wanataka maji hapa, wanataka shule hapa, then inakuwa inasaidia tu because we have been hosting refugees for the last 30 years on behalf of Kenya.
Na kwa maoni yako, unaona kwamba Duale amefanya kazi mzuri kwa ile miaka 15 alikuwa mbunge?
Sione kama amefanya kazi mzuri.
Thank you.
Manake hapa kuna Wakenya wengi vile mwenzangu Mola amesema hapa. For example, if you go to Nyelengumu, here in Garissa County, or in Garissa Township for example, they are the majority voters. Wengi wote tunaenda Balambala, Fafi, Dadaab, na wanapiga kura. For example, Wajaluo ambaye ni ODM, walipiga Duale 100%.
Okay.
Juzi alikuja hapa akapatiana ngamia na pesa for Somali communities. Not even Somali communities, all of them, some of them.
Okay, thank you.
Sasa wanalalamika wanasema sisi ambao tulipia kura.
Okay.
Hata kusema asante imekuwa shida.
Thank you. Honorable Abdi Karim Osman, I take your account and as per the rules I have read to you, they have been very clear. You responded to the question, but going forward, we refrain from mentioning people who have no right of reply, which is accordingly part of the debate rules. I get your point. Thank you. I get your point. Thank you.
Although Duale is campaigning.
Thank you. We get it.
Thank you. I wanted him to be here, so I can say
tuweze kuwa kwa mjadala. Tukue kwenye mjadala.
Nimekubali Hamza, lakini pia atoa kwa siasa.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Abdi Karim. That matter is now settled. Thank you. Honorable Deko Malim, this is a question about CDF, and it comes with an accountability question. Honorable Abdi Karim does mention public participation. That's why the people of Garissa Township are seated behind us. They want clarity. They want answers. What's your modus operandi going forward, and how do you include them in the financial distribution of the CDF kitty?
Okay. First of all, it's good for us to understand the CDF Act and what it does and what it should not do. One of the major areas that CDF should cover is the education sector. and then security and some aspects of development projects. For me, I don't want to dwell much on personal attacks on anything. I have not been to the CDF office to establish how the funds were used for Garissa County. But what I know, I have been campaigning in this, I just want to respond to one element that has been said here. There is a substantial number of non-Somalis, I think 3 of them, who claim they are represented in the CDF office of Garissa. There is all the communities that have met in the last few months or 1 month or so. I want you to give me some time, please. The communities I have met have also appreciated the role played by CDF in terms of bursaries, payment for our children, both the high secondary level and colleges. So, for me, as an individual, as an ex-member of parliament, I intend to effectively manage that CDF fund. There are rules that govern the CDF management team, the appointment side of it, and so everybody has a chance as a leader to select a team that is comfortable working with, irrespective of the number of years they serve at that level. If I go to the CDF office and I find comfortable working with the existing team, why not for me? Because at the end of the day, I am the overall boss of the kitty. So the role, what I want to do with the CDF fund, education-wise, is to sponsor as many teachers, because we have a problem of teaching staff in our constituency. I have discovered while I went out of engaging the communities, there is lack of adequate or enough secondary schools for our constituency. So for me to establish new secondary schools, payment for school fees for the children, to begin with, there should be no school-going child who should be out of school because of lack of school fees. That will be my beginning point for me.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Tutakuwa tunakwenda mapumziko mafupi, lakini kabla hapo ningependa kumuuliza Mheshimiwa Ibrahim Malo, swala la mazingira ni swala ambalo bila shaka ama taka ya Garissa, kama unaweza fahamu, ni swala ambalo watu wengi sana wamejiuliza. Japo inakuja chini ya serikali ya county, lakini unaonaje swala la taka katika county ya Garissa?
And just before you pick up, for purposes of fairness, we have added each member 1 minute extra, so you have 3 minutes and a half to respond. Kindly go ahead.
Thank you very much for the increase of time. The issue of waste in Garissa is an eyesore in an urban center. However, there are opportunities within the waste itself. For me, how I want to focus is, instead of shifting blame to the county government and saying town is dirty or anywhere, for me is to, and there are an issue of unemployment that also exists. For me is to look for groups of youth that are unemployed, give them a seed fund where they can start and do a recycling of the waste. Is one aspect. The second one is similarly on environment, is there are menace caused by madenge, not alone the dirt, not alone the waste. There is also the issue of madenge that is also an environmental hazard. To add on it, there is the issue of floods that come to Garissa. When it rains upstream and when the dams are open, floods from the water that come from the dams also cause havoc. After it, it leaves a lot of matope, what we call in Kiswahili, the mudds, our roads and everything. So my starting point is to start a recycling, connect to the waste management companies or waste recycling companies, to our youth that are here, so that they can also convert money to some of it. The second part is become a solution oriented. Instead of blaming the county government, look for environment, the resources they have, and at least have a decent town. If it allows us, there will be no harm in allocating fuel for the trucks that carry the waste that maybe the county government cannot manage.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for us is to have that solution and be the bridge between the problem and the solution.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Asante sana. Tutakuwa tunakwenda mapumziko fupi kwa sasa. Mtazamaji, kumbuka unatizama mahojiano haya moja kwa moja kutoka runinga ya Delta TV Kenya na pia Kulam Post. Tutakuwa ni wenye kwenda mapumziko mafupi, kisha tutaweza kurejea na mengi ikiwemo mahojiano na wananchi. Tumezungumza na wakazi katika kaunti ya Garissa, katikati ya mji wa Garissa. Pia tumeweza kuhusisha wale ambao wako nje kuweza kutoa mchango wao katika mjadala huu, au kuweza kutoa maoni yao. Ni kipi wanatafuta? Je, watakwenda kwenye debe tarehe 5 mwezi Januari mwaka 2023? Wacha tupate mapumziko mafupi, kisha tutaweza kurejea.
Still on the police custody. Tunataka ule MP akiingia consider mazingira, kwa sababu sisi wote ambao nzuri na hali ya maji pia ni muhimu zaidi. It's a basic necessary. It's a basic things. Lazima tuangalie mambo ya health vizuri, mambo ya bursary. Although tunajua sahi devolved government wanafanya kazi yao, kazi ya maji nataka iongezwe, na mambo ya afya pia irudi vile ilikuanga, na tunatarajia ule ambao wataingia saa hizi Garissa Township mambo ya security ikuwe vizuri.
Wananchi wa Garissa tutashirikiana kuchagua kiongozi mwenye maono, mwenye anajua shida zetu, mwenye anatambua venye tunaishi saa hii si venye tunafaa kuishi.
Time is crucial in any emergency. Every minute counts. Every second matters. When the precious window between life and death is closing quickly, skilled doctors, fearless nurses, and medical facilities will determine the rest.
Welcome to Al Jazeera Hospital. This is a laparoscopic tower.
At Al Jazeera Hospital Garissa, every patient is a top priority. Your loved ones have the best fighting chance in the care of our medical staff, state-of-the-art medical facilities, including a highly advanced laboratory and ultra-modern theaters. We don't just treat our patients, we contend for their welfare. Find us along the Dark Road opposite Garissa Referral Hospital. Visit us today. Quality healthcare brought closer to you.
Kuwataja hapo baadaye. Haswa chuo kikuu cha Garissa kina historia ndefu sana, historia ambao wengi hawataisahau, lakini hata hivyo hatungependa kuzungumzia historia hiyo kwa sasa, lakini tutaweza kuwapatia nafasi angalau dakika moja tuweze kupata ufahamu zaidi ya chuo hichi cha Garissa.
Hi. Hello, assalamu alaikum. The university staff, led by the head of marketing, Mr. Ali Olo, the senior education director, Madam Deka, our able aspirants, all of you, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Ahmad and Raga Abdullahi. Ahmad and Raga Abdullahi, representing Garissa University, At the same time, I'm the president of Garissa University. So I welcome this opportunity to welcome you to this university. Garissa University is the only university in northern region that serves 6 counties, mostly FCDC counties. So I take this opportunity with Hannah on behalf of the university to welcome you to Garissa University. Welcome. The second issue, Garissa University is the only university, and I think it should be owned by this leader. So I would like to, first of all, order you and pressure you, take note on this. The universities are owned and lobbied by the leaders. In your debate, when you're talking on the education, the university is a concern. You never touch Garissa University. So Garissa University requires the following. The classes are not enough. We therefore request whoever win out of lack of God to build small hall or tuition block from the CDF fund. The university has no fund currently, and it has been affected by the policy of cut in which the 3% of the university capitation has been cut off. The second issue I would like to request you is bursary for the needy students. Most of our students are from poor background. We therefore request bursary allocation specifically for this university as the top high institution of the region. Security system was done by Honduale. In 2017, the county government was to pay the bill. The meter reads of Sukmugdi is up to now owed by 2 million. KPLC is threatening to disconnect, and you all know the history of this university.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
I would like also to add, the final point is, I would like to request you sponsoring mentorship programs and capacity building to enable students to be useful and productive.
Thank you, Mr. President.
My last point is to plead with this public. Election come and goes. Let's elect leaders based on merit.
Thank you.
Let's not elect leaders based on tribe. Thank you so much.
We appreciate your comments here, Mr. President, and thank you so much. And let's now welcome the UDM parliamentary candidate, Nasri Jofle. Thank you, welcome. Earlier on, we had Faisal Amin of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Political Party. For those who are joining us here, we had Major Deko Maalim of the United Democratic Alliance Party of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance by extension. We had Ibrahim Malo of the NAK Kenya Party of Senior Council Mother Karua. And we had Abdikarim Osman, the former Fafi MP, who is again gunning for the MP seat. We talked about security to some extent, and this will be uniform because at the best interest of time, I would want us to conclude by 9:20. Then we take a maximum of 5 questions from the audience, and we thank them for being civil, and we thank them for their time, for joining us here. And as we proceed with this discussion, Honorable Jofle, just part of the House rules and the guidelines, you have 2 minutes to respond to a question, 30 minutes for rebuttal, and global standards of any debate do apply here. And we thank you for coming. Asante sana. Before we went on break, I had Honorable Ibrahim Malo. Now let me begin with you, Honorable Abdikarim. On the question of education, you have heard from the President, because we have just partially talked about education and what it can do when it comes to the CDF fund kitty. For the needy students, for those who are who want to quench their education thirst and who come from needy households, who are vulnerable and because of the poverty situation, how would you do it differently? I mean, this is a problem that is pertinent across the country. What will be your address to that very pertinent problem that affects millions of people across the country?
If elected as a member of Garissa Township, first, today I can assure you, or I can assure the Garissa citizens, I'm going to fully 100% pay the school fees for secondary schools, especially the public schools. And I'm going to construct more public schools, especially secondary schools. There are very few according to whatever I've said when I was campaigning. For university, in fact, I had a lot of students who are from my constituency and especially from Garissa Township. If you ask Professor Warfa, we used to pay a lot. And I can assure the students of Garissa University, if elected, I'm going to pay 100% their school fees. We have enough money if we are not corrupt. And I'm not looking for leadership, or I'm not running for a seat to get rich. You can go back to my history in Fafi. I was the best member of parliament, Garissa Township. Best member of parliament, Northeastern. It's easy to do it. I know it. I can do it. And I promise Garissa Township, we need, as the students said, we should not elect leaders through tribes. We should elect leaders through merit. Or we should not elect leaders through dynasty. No, if you go back to Garissa history here.
Okay, thank you.
You know, for the last 60 years, you'll see a member of parliament. Let me finish.
I add you 30 seconds.
The brother was elected 25 years, a son-in-law was elected 15 years, and then the son-in-law is bringing again.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
Thank you, okay.
At Garissa,
well noted. Thank you.
We need to stand up and fight, and stand up for our rights.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Tuwapatie wengine pia nafasi ya kuzungumza. Meja Deko Maalim, ulikuwa na lalama hapo awali, lakini hata hivyo tutaweza kuendelea. Labda kabla tusija kwenda kwake Geoffrey ambaye amefika, ama Mheshimiwa Nasir Geoffrey ambaye amefika sasa hivi. Mheshimiwa, kwa dakika 1.5 ulikuwa unataka kuzungumzia swala la ardhi ambapo limekuwa chanzo cha mauaji hapa Garissa. Utatuliza vipi joto la swala la ardhi?
Before I go to that question, may I request a rebuttal for the...
Yes, yeah,
first, I would like to ask the audience to stop clapping so that we hear what the other person is saying. We are unable to hear what the other person is saying. That is a request I make. I want Karim to tell us, because it is... Can you hear please?
Oh, you just pause, honorable. Let's have... Okay.
They can clap.
No, honorable.
Yeah, you want to become a member of parliament, and you are forcing them not to clap.
Okay. Thank you.
My friend.
Okay.
I think you spoiled for Al Quran.
You have... Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Just hang on. Okay, just hang on. Okay, thank you. Okay, Hamza, let me just reread the point. Okay, can we have some order kindly? Okay, can we have some order? The honorable ladies and gentlemen who are with us, our audience, we appreciate your time. So earlier on we had house rules and regulations. So kindly in any debate, whether it's presidential and the global standard is, in any context, there is no clapping because we need to hear one another kindly. We appreciate your presence. Okay? So if you are impressed by a statement made by any of your candidate, of which you have the right because we are in a democracy, then you can probably laugh, but if you clap, then we are cutting the communication channel. They might not hear themselves, and I might not be in a position to hear what they are saying kindly. Do we agree? Okay, that's fantastic. So that we continue and cover more topics, because this is at your best interest, the people of Garissa Township. Kindly, let's observe that. Asante. Yes, Honorable Major Deko, you have.
Thank you very much, moderator. I want first of all Abdikarim to explain to us what he means by dynasty. In this country, there is a right of you contesting as for an elected position. There is no, these are the democratic states. So he needs to ask first to explain to us what he means by, and again, can you keep quiet please? Can you be decent enough to listen to what people are saying?
Honorable Abdikarim, I'll give you enough time to respond. We are here because of you. We are here because of you, so that you can hear one another kindly. Because of time. Yes, proceed.
First of all, he must explain to us what the dynasty is. These are the democratic country, which elections happen every 5 years. Okay? So, telling us so and so, to begin with, we don't elect clan and tribes here. We elect an individual, and everybody has a right to contest for that position, whatever it comes from. Is that clear to us? I think that is the bottom line. So, when you're looking, to begin with, by the way, his father was a councillor for many years. If he's trying to tell us anything of that, his father was elected as a councillor for many years. Does he count it as a dynasty issue? So everybody, everybody has a right to be elected and contest and avail himself for elected position. So this conception that you pick it, these English words, you pick it from the streets and from the social media, you do not just come and paipa hapa.
Asante mheshimiwa. Twende kwake mheshimiwa Nasir Jofle, tumpatie nafasi kwa sababu yeye amefika sasa hivi. Asante. Kidogo tuweze kupata kile atatuambia. Labda mheshimiwa, hapo awali tulikuwa tumezungumzia masuala tofauti ikiwemo masuala ya usalama, tumeweza kuzungumzia mambo ya hazina ya CDF, tumeweza kuzungumzia pia swala la ardhi. Tukizungumza labda tukikupa swali hili, labda tuambie utatumia vipi hazina ya CDF, tukijua kwamba haujawahi kusimamia kiti hiki na labda kuweza kubahatika kuwa mbunge hapo awali, lakini utatumia vipi iwapo utapata nafasi ya kuwa mbunge wakati huu?
And Honorable, before you proceed, because we had started before you were here, to be fair, we give you 5 minutes for introduction so that you can conclude your remarks.
Thank you so much. I seek your apology because I was traveling from Nairobi. I'm sorry to have come late. And first of all, I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bestowing us this opportunity to engage our electorates. And first and foremost, my name is Nasir Mohamed Dalal, popularly known as Jofle. I'm a breed of Garissa Township. And I would like to tell the audience that I am a true reflection, or I'm a living testimony of a hustler. I'm a hustler. My father had no job. My mother was a mama mboga, and that's how I came up the ladder. And I am myself, or I am whom I am because of my hard work and determination. And on the aspects of CDF usage, first of all, we want to know the reason, the aspect of CDF. We know how CDF was created, and I think we need to be honest to ourselves when disbursing CDF. And I am a living testimony. When I was in Form 2, my mom could not afford to pay 3,700 as my school fees. She used to sell nyanya, and I could feel her pain and suffering of bringing up a future leader without any connection to the leadership. And when disbursing CDF, we need to reflect our yesteryears, what we have gone through. With me, if I get elected as a member of parliament, as I opined earlier in all my engagements, that the CDF will not be given to people who can afford to pay the school fees of their children. Simply meaning, sita walipia matajiri. In a very simple language, sita walipia matajiri. Because it's not meant for the rich. It is meant for the poor. It's meant for the mama mbogas, like my mom, and the mamas who are currently hustling to pay school fees for their children. I have always said that should I get elected as the member of parliament for Garissa Township, my CDF disbursement, my budget disbursement will be done in an open air at the Garissa Primary School grounds. And the reason why I'm saying that is there's this guy who is my relative, has a connection with the leadership, and because of his proximity to the leadership, he gets a lot of favors from the leadership. His son is pursuing medicine in Uganda. The guy is driving a fuel guzzler, having a big house, a lot of businesses, and his son is still being paid 300,000 out of the CDF kitty. And on the same breath, my neighbor, a Mama Mboga, who lives in a two rooms rented house who cooks chips to fend for her children, has 3 daughters who have been chased from school because of 14,000, 3,000, 5,000, and 6,000. In total, 14,000. She came to me and asked me in a very, very, remorseful way, Mheshimiwa, naomba unisaidie fees ya mtoto wangu. Amefukuzwa shule kwa sababu ya shilingi 3,000, 5,000 na 6,000, totaling 14,000.
Thank you.
It pained me a lot. I had to pay part of her school fees, but it pained me a lot because I know someone who has been given 300,000 towards his medicine school, and she is unable to get 14,000.
Asante. Because of time, let me add you 30 seconds, you conclude. Okay.
That's the reason why I said currently we have a very, very remote leadership that do not have the people's interest at heart. That's the reason why I said if I get elected as the Member of Parliament, I will disburse my CDF at the Garissa Primary School ground purposely to make sure Mama Mbogas get the benefits, not the rich.
Asante sana, thank you. Yes, Hamza.
Kidogo naona tumemsahau Mheshimiwa Faisal Amin na Mheshimiwa tutaweza kuja kwako, lakini Mheshimiwa Faisal Amin, kwa dakika moja labda tueleze hali ya afya ya Garissa kama unavyofahamu, kwa sababu natafuta kiti hiki na ni muhimu tuweze kuzungumzia, japo ni kidogo inakuja chini ya serikali ya county, lakini tunataka tu kujua maoni yako. Hali ya afya labda hospitali za Garissa kwa sasa ziko vipi? Kiswahili au Kiingereza?
Thank you, Hamza. Before that, Hamza, I would like to address the issue of CDF, if you don't mind. Yeah, I think I was supposed to do.
A minute to do that, and a minute to respond to the question, please.
Before?
Yeah, a minute to the question on CDF, and then a minute to his question.
I think it will be unfair for me, a minute for CDF.
I will add you.
Yes.
I'm here to add you time so that you can sufficiently address your point. Yes, go ahead.
I've been waiting for it. Thank you. About the CDF, I think is the main source of fund for the Member of Parliament, and it has been abused because there is no transparency and accountability. First thing I will do as an MP is that I will, first of all, advertise the position of the chairman among Garissa people who can really fit that position, instead of handpicking somebody who is going to facilitate corruption by the end of the day. Another thing that CDF has got 55% on education and security. We have 11% on water, 6% on health issue, and it has to have 30% on a corner tribe to begin with. That's where we are lacking the fairness that comes with CDF. A lot of people who are at the bottom of the pyramids are forgotten because they are not considered. That's why always someone talk about that. The rich are paid well, hundreds of thousands for their kids, and the poor people, they don't get what they deserve because that was what it was supposed to be. So I will make sure that the 30% of the corner tribe stands out. The CDF chairman is going to be somebody vetted and ready for the job, and he's not going to be biased against the Garissa people. And every percentage goes to the way it is supposed to be in bursary, in building school facilities, and security. I tell you that Garissa is lacking security a lot, and it's supposed to have almost about 4 extra police posts and police stations for if that is possible. I will be greatly involved to make sure Garissa is safe by engaging in security matters. Thank you on the CDF thing.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Abdi Karim, then we go to Honorable Malo. Just let me, I know you have a rebuttal, so I give you time. Honorable Malo, to you, the question. It's still on the question of, because we, and at the best interest of time, because we need to take 5 questions, because you are 5 from the audience. After you respond to that question, Abdi Karim, and then Honorable Major Deko Malim. Public participation. The Constitution does place, or it emphasizes on the importance of the Kenyan people. to what level of engagement would you engage the people of Garissa County in security management, in the development that they need, and also in education, because that is the cornerstone to any society's development?
Thank you very much. On the issue of security and the public participation. So before I come to public participation, I want to briefly address on the issue of security. I want to send my condolences to the many mothers and fathers who lost their loved one because of the Declararian law on security that was passed by our own member of parliament. It was the majority leader then. It is called the security bill. That security bill has seriously affected the people of Garissa. There are disappearances. Many people have lost their lives. So, and I also at the same time echo the officers who work day and night to stop the ugly incident that happened in Garissa and West where we are. So it is a tricky issue. Connected to the security is the matter of land that I wanted also to address briefly. You have seen Garissa, there are a lot of land issues and land tension, specifically on the periphery areas. My first approach on the land matter is to have a police post across. The police is currently in the center of the town. I will have one in the Tawakal area, a police post around Tawakal, Kuna, so that side, one in the area where they call, I don't know what the meaning is, I don't know what that means, and then in the police area. Now come to the issue of public participation. Every aspect of what we need to do, we need to get the concurrence and the opinion of the people of Garissa. More so, an example is, as might not be the right thing, there are the Kera or the Kura roads that exist. There are issues of schools that are not sufficient enough. For example, Garissa, we have only 11 public secondary schools. And area like Korkora, Bolarigi, Burburis, Kunaso have no schools. For me, it's a focus that we need to build those schools there. So public participation for me is the cornerstone and the game changer, asking people what they need and what they want.
Thank you.
And then whether they agree with you on the policy approach that you are taking.
Thank you. Okay, Asante, because we have 18 minutes to conclude. So, Hamza, Honorable Abdikarim. On the question of public participation as well, because all of you are seeking the mandate of the people of Garissa Township, the honorable people who are beside us.
Can I please, before you give that?
Okay, let me finish. Let him finish. I'll give you time so that you have time. Because we have also Honorable Joffle who needs some time before I come to Honorable Deko. Yes, proceed please on the public participation bit.
Thank you, Ayub. Before I go there, I want to respond to Mr. Deko.
30 seconds. Let me just address the audience. Please, let's stop clapping so that we have a proper communication channel. And kindly. Okay, thank you. 30 seconds for your rebuttal, which you have a right to, and then on the question of public participation, so that we conclude this. Thank you.
Thank you. We're not fighting here, we're just debating.
Thank you.
First, I want to tell Mr. Deko, we are not in a military camp. Second, in 1992, when Kanu was Kanu, you know, his elder brother, the general, and my father, he mentioned about dynasty, and he mentioned about my father being a councillor or a chairman of council. In fact, Baba yangu alipokuwa chairman of council hapa Garissa. It was 1992, and it was the only time that title deeds were issued, including the post now his brothers and himself live.
Tungependa
wacha nimalize Hamza.
Mheshimiwa,
ile kazi alifanya anasema
tusiweze kuingilia sana
na mambo ya dynasty. No, it's good to be honest to each other. He said I'm a dynasty too. I'm not a dynasty.
Tunazungumzia kiti cha ubunge cha Garissa,
which is okay, and I'm just responding that seconds I was given by you. Let me respond. Of which I have the right to respond.
You'll proceed. Let me just talk to the audience, okay. Because we need to get to hear one another. I think it's only honorable that we stop clapping. Please. No. Let's be orderly. One of them martaqadna na sharfa. Kindly, please. Let's be orderly. One of and kindly, please. Please. You can laugh, but you can't clap. If you clap, we don't hear one another, isn't it? Kindly, please.
I'm just finishing.
Yes, so you finish up and then on the question of public participation.
30 seconds. As a Deko, as a he has the right to become a member of parliament because of his brother was there before him 25 years, his son-in-law was there 15 years. You should not think like that. You know, here is to come and ask for votes. Na wachia hapo. Na mambo ya kusukuma pia na mtu mwingine is not good. Enda omba kura mwenyewe, wananchi, uza sera zako, watu wakusikie. Vile mimi nimefanya fati mara ya kwanza kuchaguliwa.
Shukrani mheshimiwa.
Asitegemee mtu mwingine kumsaidia. Nimemalizia hapo. Na sinaharibia vile aliharibia corona juzi. Alitumia kuharibia corona juzi.
Well understood. Thank you.
Now let me go to public participation. CDF, you vile nimesema. Mimi nimefanya kazi nzuri fati. Mimi kazi yangu iko wazi. It's open. You can see it. You go to Fafi. You will hear about it. I know you don't live here. Just came in. So wananchi wa Garissa wanajua kazi yangu ya Fafi, vile nimelipa school fees, vile nilikuwa nafanya kazi na kina mama, vile nimefanya kazi na kina wazee, vijana. Kuna vijana wengi walioa through CDF hii kidogo ambayo tunasaidia wananchi.
Thank you.
Na mambo ya security Fafi ilikuwa watu hawaendi kwanza. Hata to do a development in Fafi, it was very difficult before I came member of parliament.
Asante.
Lakini nilipoenda Fafi nimetumia hiyo CDF kujenga camps. For example, in Kamudi, a place called Kamudi, it was attacked by Al-Shabaab. We lost 3 teachers. I had to do a complete police station for Kamudi, and I brought special forces from Nairobi, about 50. You go to Nandi, the same thing. You go to Fafi Center here, it was no go so, no schools. Now, I have about GSU, about 100, and I did that with CDF money. So it's very easy to do it.
Thank you.
If you are not corrupt.
Okay, Asante. Because of time, you have a right of reply. Then I'll go to Honorable Joffle. After that, we go to the audience. 4 questions. 4 to balance 2-2. Okay. 5. 3 women, 2 men. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Because of time. Okay, we will agree about that. No problem. We'll balance. Yes, Honorable Major, go ahead, please.
Looks like the debate is between me and Abdi Karim. It has narrowed down to between me and Abdi Karim. You all know I'm campaigning on the ground. Ama mtasikia mimi nikipiga kelele Garissa nikiomba kura? Ama mtasikia nikiomba kura? Mimi, I am on the ground campaigning for Garissa. I have all the rights to run as a candidate here. So, my brother Abdi Karim, don't narrow this thing to your village politics here. And it has nothing to do with the contest I had with the governor for last time. This is all about MP for Garissa Township. So I will stop it at that. Because he has a habit of just payukering everything. Now let me go to the issue of public participation. In my manifesto while I was running for governor, it was about creation of a Majlis session. In my engagement of the community of Garissa Township, I've all encouraged them that, and I've told them, the fact that I will be giving them a platform to engage me more often than not. Any opportunity I get in Garissa Township people, with the township people, I will for sure give them an opportunity to engage with me for public participation, for them to identify the kind of projects they want to be implemented by the area member of parliament. I'll go back to the issue of land. I've not addressed the issue of land. I've not touched on it. It's very unfortunate as people of Garissa who claim to be 90% or 99% Muslims kill each other because of a piece of land of 50 by 100, while we have abundant resource of land. The issue here is the leadership not taking the right steps or being not courageous enough to address the issue of land problems that we have. in Garissa Township. As a leader, I will engage both the national government and the county government so that we have a solution to a problem that we have on land skirmishes in this town. Secondly, on the land issue, we all know we lack spaces in this town for more development of school infrastructure, police stations, hospital facilities. We only have the old existing facilities in Garissa town. So for me, I will engage the national government and the county government so that we identify new land spaces for this, what we want to do as a member, what I want to do as a member of parliament. That is creation of building of new school infrastructure, police stations from Kokora to Garissa Township. So on that issue of land is that security. You all know I have a background of security, and which he keeps on mentioning that it's a military, we don't want to be ruled as a military whatever. I have adequate strategic plan with which of course we will engage the stakeholders, the police, the security agencies, to ensure that we put up a strategic plan for the security problem that we face now. Mugging issue, stabbing. Unfortunately, this week we lost a mother of 5 children who was taking care of 12 of her siblings also. We lost her through an incident, which is a very unfortunate one. As a member from the ruling party of UDA,
thank you.
Our manifesto had an issue of extrajudicial killing,
Asante,
which the president addressed.
Thank you. Okay, I add you 30 seconds. Finish up before you go to Mojofli.
30 seconds.
Yes, 30 seconds. Finish. Conclude before we go to the audience. Yes.
As in our manifesto as UDA, the president had already, in our manifesto we had the issue of extrajudicial killing, which the president addressed, and which we intend to follow it up, because the special unit that was formed to carry out those killings was already disbanded, and we have already 20 people in courts to address that issue. I want to bring to the attention of the audience that we are also assured on the issue of IDs that there will be no vetting again for people seeking IDs from Northeastern region, inshallah.
Thank you. Time's up. Yes, Honorable Joflan, we need to be fair to him because he needs time to explain himself on the vast array of issues, and I anticipate that you will summarize them all before we go to the honorable people who you all want their mandate, who are seated behind us. We take 6 questions, 3-3, we balance, and then kindly please proceed. You have 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I will be objective, not subjective. Actually, I have very good, my mission and vision for Garissa County is big. It's bold and it's beautiful. And that's why my political journey started in 2007, and I have been very consistent in becoming the area MP. We've had an opportunity when we lost Mheshimiwa Haji. I have been asked to go for that seat, but because of my vision for this great constituency, I declined that offer, and that's why up to date, I am yearning to become the area MP. When it comes to security, we need to have that sense of ownership from our leadership. Our leadership have not been honest to ourselves. We are all one people because Garissa is a cosmopolitan town. It virtually harbors all the tribes of Kenya. And in that regard, it needs a unique leadership. And when it comes to security, you see these people who are killing each other, they are all brothers. We need that leadership who will bring them together and ask them this question: what is there that is making you kill each other? We have not had a single leadership who brought the 3 larger families together, be it from Aulihan, Auda, or Abdallah. They have not. I am ready to engage them, to bring them together and ask them, what is there that is making you kill each other? And these guys who are in the periphery of our town killing are our sons. They are being given small tokens to kill innocent people. Those people need to be given amnesty. If I become the area B, I will give them amnesty, ask them to bring back those guns that have been given to them to kill their own brothers, and give them tokens to start businesses rather than killing each other.
Asante. Asante. Ukimalizia labda sekunde 30 mheshimiwa ukimalizia.
Okay. We need that kind of engagement where we see peaceful coexistence. We should not use the tribal cocoons as a leverage to get votes. That's why I started in 2007. I lost. I did not go to court. I accepted. As a kushindwa si mshindani. In 2013, you know, my actually competitor was controversially declared the winner, and I still said, okay, let it go. 2022, you know what happened. I'm still here because I believe in peace, and I want to win this seat in a peaceful manner. I will not engage anybody. Okay, thank you.
Asante sana mheshimiwa. Tutakuja dakika ambazo tutawapatia chache na labda kila mmoja hawezi zungumza. Kwa hivyo ukikosa bahati ya kupata ile microphone usikasirike ama usisikie vibaya, kwa sababu watu wengi sana hapa wanataka kuzungumza na hatuwezi chukua sauti ya kila mmoja hapa. Labda represent kidogo tu, ukipata mic dakika moja uweze kuuliza swali, na sio swali ya matusi, sio swali ya kuattack mheshimiwa yoyote, swali ambayo inahusiana na swala la labda maendeleo na kitu kama kile. Kama safari unaweza mpatia microphone hapo mbele.
And as part of the ground rules, if your question is subjective, we reserve the right to shoot it down. You have to address the very specific areas that we have talked about: development, security, and they are all regarding leadership and the management of the CDF. So let's give the lady over here. Yes, there is the mother here. Hoya the microphone. Yes.
Wetu Faisal Abdurrahman pia ni mwanahabari atatusaidia. Faisal, kama unaweza pia na microphone hapo.
Give it to the mother, and then I get the gentleman over there because I'm balancing. That's two. Yes, the mother here. So we are taking the questions at a go.
Mama anaweza zungumza kiwa pale.
Yes, go ahead. Give her the mother. There's a gentleman seated there. Yeah. Give it to that gentleman.
Swali yangu inaenda kwa Mheshimiwa Deko. For 20 years, I came from 15, and my name is Abdurrahman Hussein Ahmed.
Okay.
Swali yangu inaenda kwa Mheshimiwa Deko. For the last 20 years, I come a community which is 30% who are voters here. And we have never been represented in CDF committee. So I'm asking him, will he change the CDF committee, or he will leave that 15 years CDF committee?
Thank you. Very good question. Give it to the lady here. Yes, the lady here. Yeah. Faisal, give it to the lady here. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. Yes, I'm kind of stand up.
I'm Hilda. Ninauliza
Microphone.
CDF wakati itakuwa inagawanywa, sisi kama nywele ngumu tutasaidika vile mheshimiwa Duale amekuwa akitusaidia?
Okay, that will be answered across board. I hope you are taking notes. Yes, we are balancing in terms of our agenda. Yes, go ahead, please.
My names are Yusuf Abdi. Mine goes to Major Deko. As we are aware, he has contested for the... Sorry.
Well, swali zetu zisikwe...
No, I have the right. I have the right to ask the contestant. I have the right to ask questions to the candidate. Yes. Let me ask him the question. Let me ask him the question.
Rudi na hiyo microphone. Asante sana Faisal. Tuweze kuchukua hiyo microphone kwa sababu wananchi kidogo.
Okay. Let me ask him the question. As we are aware, you have contested for the gubernatorial seat in the last election, and you have lost. Of course, you had a manifesto that you presented to people. a massive one. So how will you going to align your manifesto of the previous one to the one now you have today? My second question to you is...
Okay, only one question. One question.
Project in tag on your neck. Can you tell us, will we be having the same continuation of the Duale regime, which will be under you onward?
Okay.
Tuweze kupata majibu ya swali la kwanza. Mheshimiwa Deko.
Jasangon.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, let's
Order, please. My name is Khalid, and my question goes to my brother Malo. Huh? My question goes to my brother Malo. Malo, we know you. You are the CEO in Garissa County, and you already have an active case in court. Why do you think you fit and be elected in office?
Okay, Faisal. We seem not to have an order. Okay. Yes, you'll respond to the questions. Okay.
Okay. Sasa tutawapatia nafasi waheshimiwa waweze ku...
Excuse me. Last question. Excuse me. My name is Abdurrahman Mohammed. Excuse me, please. I want to ask a question. Please keep quiet. My name is Abdurrahman Mohammed. An indigenous son of this beautiful town called Garissa. I just want to ask a simple question. As a resident of Medina, I feel detached from the road infrastructure development. Can you guys give me the assurance that Medina Road will be tarmacked if one of you is elected? I'm saying, as a resident of Medina, I feel detached from the road infrastructure development that has been taking place in Garissa town. Can you give me an assurance that Medina Road will be tarmacked if you are elected?
Thank you. Faisal.
Second question. One last quick one. A quick one, please.
Imetosha hiyo. Asante sana.
Okay.
Very objective.
Swali moja tu.
Please, I beg you. Very objective.
Swali moja.
I will be never subjective. Please.
Chukua. Faisal.
There is a lot of insecurity in the outskirts of Garissa town. Despite the clan animosity in the land issues, there has been a ring of land cartels who are deep pocketed and have been grabbing land using the judiciary and other government institutions. Can you guys assure us that you will side with those who have a lot of money and are grabbing land from the poor people? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. And it's over. Thank you. So we had a couple of questions, and let's have some order so that they respond to the questions. Okay, thank you. No, thank you. We are no longer taking questions. So they will respond to the questions. They will have their final comments before they conclude. So the first question was on the representation of the Constituency Development Fund. Honorable Major Deko, you'll respond to that? Then there is a general question on across all on public participation, the importance of the same, and development. So three main questions, and we'll respond to them. Yes, personally, it was for you.
Wacha nijibu swali ya Mala
CDF.
On CDF, on the issue of CDF membership. While campaigning within the constituency on engaging the community members the last 1.5 months, every sub-community we have met or engaged have raised the issue of membership of the CDF. This brings the the question of lack of trust in our communities between the leadership and the members of the community. So you all know it is not possible to have all communities living in Garissa as members of the CDF committee. I think that is clear. So we will not consider community only, but other aspects for service delivery. So I think I will not appoint based on community alone. There are other factors and parameters that will be engaged in to decide and determine who will be members of the community. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to service delivery.
Thank you.
Secondly, I had 3 questions for myself. I was asked 3 questions and I want to answer them. That was question number 1.
Okay, thank you.
Question number 2 from Sarre. He asked me about my manifesto as a governor and aligning my manifesto as a member of parliament. I want you to understand that the roles of a governor, and when we are presenting our manifesto, was based on the resources that and the functions as a governor I was supposed to perform. That is what was based on my manifesto. My current manifesto is based on the resources and then my role as a member of my parliament. So those should be clear. Secondly, he asked me the question of the project tag, that I'm a project for Honorable Duale. You must know I'm a member of UDA. I was contesting in the last general election as a member of UDA. I'm one of the original members when the party was registered. I contested as a member of UDA on the seat of governorship. It was seen prudent by the leadership of the party, Duale being one of them and a founder of the party, and he has a right as a senior member of the party to support me as a candidate. I do not expect, and I want you to expect him to support an opposition candidate while I'm a member of the party we formed.
Thank you.
So I think that is clear.
Asante.
Now, my third question, I was asked questions, so I need to clear them.
So let him respond to the questions.
The other question, we're responding to the question. The other question was a gentleman there who asked a very objective question on road infrastructure in parts of Garissa and Medina side. Today, I engaged a community that lives in Medina area, Ambularik and Bulahagar. And the issue they raised is the same issue the gentleman raised, that we lack road infrastructure in that area. I pledged to them and I told them that I will make it a priority for me so that I implement the first or the second road project that we are going to carry out as Kura will be done in those areas to connect the existing road network between Sokongombe going to Bula Medina and the one leaving Dawale going to that other side. So I have adequately addressed their concerns.
Thank you.
And I will do inshallah.
Asante. So okay, just to be clear, so you had also a personal question, and which touches on leadership and integrity of a court case that one of the audience has mentioned. And Honorable Abdi Karim, Honorable Faisal, Honorable Jogle, you will have each 5 minutes to conclude. So let him respond to the question on leadership and integrity and the court case. Please proceed.
Thank you very much. On the issue of the court, yes, true, there's an active court. I'm not sure whether we can discuss the merits and the demerits of a case that is actively in court. The only point that I want to add about the case is the entire project that we were allowed to implement were 3. The souk in the Qorehe, the drainage, water drainage system, and also the tarmac in the road. My brother here, through family networks, is one of the biggest beneficiaries of that project. That aside, there's also a mama who mentioned about the Nyolengumu. She said whether Nyolengumu will get the buzzard. I don't think it is right word for us to call them the Nyolengumu, because in the midst of us, we also have Nyolengumus ourselves. It is a decent way. It's only decent that we call them the down Kenyans, the Kenyans from the other side of the river. They have a huge marriage of problems and challenges they face in Garissa, not only the Bazaar. Even when some of them, unfortunately, passes on, they have the hustle to look for vehicles to hire and take them. For me, I want to assure that I'm not only prepared to pay for them the school fees, but I will also go to the extra mile of giving them project from the CDF kitty, as well as buy them two new vans and 2 horse vehicles that are supposed to ferry, in which the CDF will pay for the driver as well as the fuel. That is, I think, manageable. On the issue of Bula Medina, and the road network, there's another specific problem to Bula Medina. Most of you might not even know. If today you want to go and buy 100 by 100 plot from Bula Medina, it will cost you 3 million. Not less than 3 million, 100 by 100. The reason being, an entire community cannot fit in a certain one pula. While in the same Garissa we live in, 100 by 100 costs 150,000. That is caused by the lack of security presence across, and the issue of demarcating community to regions, to one part. For me, I have a solution. The solution is to provide a police post in the periphery of Garissa, and I have said earlier, I'm not sure whether you can listen, on the road that is not tarmac. It's not only a tarmac road, there are also a problem of drainage. When it rains, that entire laga of Bula Medina locks people off the way. The same happens to Buliftin. That road locks people off. There's the same problem in Burburis, in Bulafumbi. When it rains, everybody becomes squatters in the town. Those are the issues that affect the people.
Thank you.
It is a priority for me. Not only a tarmac road in Bula Medina, but also a carriage, a mini bridge in the laga of Bula Medina, the same one in Buliftin, and also a tarmac road in Burburis, and a proper drainage that stops the runway.
Asante.
Can I just
yes, go ahead. Just hang on.
A rebuttal.
Okay, hang on. I'll give you the time to respond. So
just before you
finish,
before you take over, when it rains, there are a lot of running water that destroys the people of Sobmukti and the mamas that sell along the Sogore. For me, I have a plan where we need to have a mega dams or a big dams.
Okay.
The money is available.
Thank you.
It's given to Northern Water Service Board. Let me just.
Okay. Because of time, we need to also hear from the rest. Yeah. Okay.
Because Water Trust Fund has money allocated for them on urban water services. It's a tune of $1 billion Kenya shilling.
Okay. Thank you.
We need to go get that money, do some dams, and do also extension of piping for the people in Pulasagara.
Asante. Thank you. We heard from you, Asante. Yes, Honorable Amin, to the questions that have been raised on development, on roads, the same to you, Honorable Abdi Karim, the same to Honorable Jofle. You have 5 minutes each, and then Faiza Hamza will conclude for us. Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. On the issue of development, I know we need a lot of infrastructures in our 4 wards, but in particular, Waberi and Galbet, they don't have good roads, or roads are really bad, and they need to be really tarmacked and at the same time paved for better usage. So I will put more effort to make sure that the road in Waberi and Galbet, they are usable. As you have found that there is extensive flood that occurs occasionally in Garissa. I think in 2018 we had a serious flood that caused a lot of damage and lasted for some days. And the one that happened the other day, I counted 5 years down the line, there was more serious one that caused death, loss of life, and other severe damage. So we can see the trend that as climate change continues, we will have more flood, and we are at the risk of a flood that may cause the life of many people and cause many property damage, a lot of property damage. In that regard, as an MP, I will advocate for how we can mitigate this flooding issue, how we can make Garissa safe so that one day we will not be carried away by flash flood and the surging river Tana that is causing a lot of flood in the neighborhood. I think that's a serious problem that a lot of leaders are not talking about, but it is really an imminent issue that may cause loss of life at a massive number. So I will do something about the flood. For development, I know that we need public participation. A lot of development is done without discretion of the community. That's why I say that I will go back to build social halls where people and leaders can meet and discuss what is important to them, rather than just giving a project to somebody without a plan or without the necessity or the need of the society. That is what has been happening. Corruption normally starts from there, where people are told go and get a project or a program, there is money available, and you can be given one, and the community and the needy people are not put into consideration. So always things will be on need-based. The county, the national, they have to build infrastructures based on the moment's need, not the choice of a contractor or someone who is corrupt to do such work. On the issue of the CDF, I said that I allocate 30% to the minority, which I'm sure, like what Madam asked last time, every Kenyan who live in Garissa will be entitled to get the CDF as long as they fall in the constitutional right of poor people who cannot afford school fees for their kids. So mine will be transparency, and accountability, and I would like to take corruption out of the hands of most leaders who have kept our society so poor, and we get poor by the day. Unless we stand up for justice and elect the right leaders, we will always happen suffering and in need of help. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll start with the aspect of CDF. That lady, she mentioned the word Nyelengumu. As everybody knows, I have never mentioned that word. I'd rather say the non-Somali speaking or the Christian community. I know they have been pushed to the periphery in all aspects of development, in all aspects of engagement. If I get elected, they will, and I'm using the word will, they will have a member of the CDF. They have never heard. There are 3 cadres of discrimination in Garissa. And it's evidently known that Somalis, non-Somalis, and they have others. Arabs are called others and Malakotes. The non-Somali speaking people are called non-locals. And the locals are further divided or discriminated, and they are being called Kona tribe. And the center tribe are the Aulian, Audak, and Abdallah. I vote in the likely event that I get elected, none will be called such names. None. Under my administration, whether you are a non-Somali speaking, whether you're Muslim or Christian, whether you're Somali, you will all have equal rights. No one will be more equal than the other, completely. And on the aspect of CDF membership distribution, we will have, my brother said he will have some criteria. He didn't mention, but I'll mention. We know there are some smaller communities or clans that had never benefited from the CDF. We'll have a raffle to get, because we are all involved in front of God. And we'll have a raffle, but Nasibu. If the members are 7, we will have 7 yeses, and the rest of the communities no, and they will pick whoever gets will be representing Garissa, because we're all equal. That's how I want to engage the people of Garissa. Because there is no criteria you can use to pick Clan A as opposed to Clan B, because that will not have any merit for them to be picked. On the aspect of development, we know this town is having a systematic discrimination in terms of development. If you go to Waberi, you will not believe the way these people are living. In Kunaso, people cannot even get out of Kunaso because of insecurity. The roads are impassable. I am a living testimony. I live in Bula Medina, and it pains me when I drive through those roads when it rains. So in that aspect, if I get elected, I will have to make sure that areas that have been left out deliberately, I would use the word deliberately, because we have a lot of kilometers of tarmac that has been put on and other places have not benefited. I will make sure that Waberi gets tarmac. I will make sure that Galbed gets tarmac, and also Iftin, places where they are not tarmacs, I will make sure that they get tarmac. And that's the only way you can be a just leader.
Yes, Honorable Abdi Karim, you have the last 5 minutes. It's 9:20, 9:25. We are concluding. Yes, go ahead, please.
Asante sana, wacha nidogo kwa Kiswahili wazee pia wasikie. Mambo ya CDF, it's very simple. As a member of parliament, wewe ni patron. Na sisi hatuchukui na pesa. Normally is the chairman and then a CDF manager. CDF manager is appointed by national government. Chairman is the MP to appoint. I don't have any problem giving it to Arab, giving it to Red Bullet, giving it to Nyel. It's okay. At the end of the day is how the MP manages his team. As members, CDF members, I think I can give to Adugozia, I can give to Amagawu, I can give to Muhammad Suel, I can give to any tribe of which I have never get the chance to do that. For example, it's good to call a spade a spade. Normally, I'm a straight talker. I don't go through. If I'm elected, I'm Auda as a club. I don't need to punish Ulihan or Samuel. In fact, I did the same thing. I'm the only one who has given Samuel, of which they are my brothers, Talamoge, a chief for the last 30 years. A place called Dabdara. In fact, I had a lot of fights from my own clan. So, for example, you go to Bulagesto, it's very far. You go to Bulahagar, Bula Medina. You know, kama kuna shida, they have to go to 15 police station, the main police station. It's very simple. As a CDF, you can use your money. You just need to plan yearly. So, ile kitu mitafanya Bulagesto, nitajenga police post, nitapatia wa chief na sub chief ambao wanaishi huko. And that's part of security, to enhance security. They don't need to come to Bulifton or to downtown here, where to report small incidents. Kama bibi na bana wanakosana, for example. The Gorias have been here. In fact, my neighbors, most of them, me and Nasir, we happen to be from same Bula, called Bula Bunda. He was the other side of Jaribu. I was also on the other side of Jaribu. We went to same school together. So you can take Bula Sheikh, for example, now. It's a big. Bula Bunda, it's a big. You go to Bulifton, same thing. Mambo ya barabara, it's very simple. Kule constituency fafi, tuko tunatumia kura. But you identify mali gani iko na shida. You go to Windsor here, ambayo Nyalangumu wanaishi. In fact, I'm saying this because they want to be called Nyalangumu. Hawana shida nayo. You go to Windsor, hawana barabara. You go to Windsor, hakuna shule. For example, you go to, normally I drive alone. I don't want to be seen. Why are you taking pictures of Karim? So I decided to do my. For example, nimesema Bulagesto tutapatia Bula Holland, give them 2 chiefs, a police post. Within 5 years, you can open up the city. Hii mambo ya shamba, you know, it's good to be honest to each other. Hii hapana kazi ya MP. Hii kazi ni kazi ya county government.
Yes.
So, ukiniambia mimi nitafanya nini, you have to have a good rapport with the county government. And normally, one governor has elected.
You have 20 seconds. Let's go ahead, please.
So, governor Mimi nitafanya kazi na governor ambaye amekalia kiti. Hii shida yote, for example, Nyelengumu sasa hivi wanaendaka madogo kujenga. They are not given chambers here. Hii is very simple. Peleka sitima, anapeleka maji.
And you said there was a benefit that he had. So I give you 1 minute, we conclude everything.
I thank you for the rebuttal. You know, in leadership, when a leader speaks and says something, you know, sometimes we have to, that's why we have to doubt what some people are saying on the stage, at office. My brother here mentioned me as a beneficiary of the World Bank projects. I think you had. That's